Hi, ho everyone. My name is Mr. Fruit, and welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast. In today's episode, I discuss my time at Rob's wedding. We also talk briefly about why Rob isn't here. That's probably because of the wedding and honeymoon. But you get my POV on some of the events, and when Rob's back, we'll get his POV on that and the honeymoon and much more. But still joined here with Blue. He talks about his recent move and how much he loved it.
It was awful.
And we touch on our opinions and thoughts with Deadlock currently, since I certainly have been quite addicted.
Deadlock is amazing.
And
We glaze that shit. We do tricks on it.
why wouldn't we? That and a little bit of other stuff. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
Summer is dead. Sorry if that sounded harsh, but it's true. Fall is upon us, and as the weather gets chillier and crispier, your wardrobe needs to catch up. Luckily, the sponsor of this ad read is here to save the day. Chubbies. Yes, Chubbies, home of the ultra cozy comfort clothes that'll keep you feeling warm and looking better as the weather gets progressively worse and worse. Listen, looking good in your clothes is important to me, just as important as the comfort of clothing. And I know it is to you too. With Chubbies, I don't have to sacrifice comfort for style. I've been wearing their original stretch short and love how comfortable the elastic waistband is. And they come in 3 different lengths. I'm not a petite boy by any means, so having that waistband is a game changer. When others see you sporting Chubbies in the wild, they're bound to say, oh wow, that person's wearing Chubbies. I now immediately respect them and think they're cool. Why can't I be them? Why can't I sport a Chubby in public? This fall, elevate your style, your confidence, and your entire fundamental being with Chubbies. And would you look at that, folks? For a limited time, our friends at Chubbies are giving our listeners 20% off with the promo code GG20 at checkout at chubbyshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with the promo code GG20. Support our show and tell them we sent you. This fall, make the most of every moment with Chubbies. Shop now and fall into comfort, one stylish piece at a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 241.
Yeah.
Hey,
Look at
from
us.
the hip, and we
Look
we
at
made
us.
Look at us. And don't look at Rob because he's not here.
Because he's dead.
Boo. No, he's like in love and married and on a honeymoon or something. Cringe.
Ooh, I'm in love
But
with
not
someone. Ew. I want to spend my life with someone weird.
You know, whatever, dude. It's not even like, whatever, go brag or whatever, dude. Who cares, dude?
He's having a brag girl summer.
He's having brag girl summer in Germany. Although, apparently he's in Austria right now. This is Europe. He's in Europe.
Is that so? That's where they chose their honey. Well, I knew, but I kind of figured they were gonna go on a Europe spelunking, because every time I think the last time he went, he was for the CS majors.
Oh yeah.
He was like, oh,
he's got the brubs.
He was like, oh, dude, what a great choice. So minus the water,
McDonald's.
Minus the McDonald's. Yeah.
And the train. And the metro. In fact, actually, I'm just worried about the Europeans. They're having to deal with the terror that is American Rob.
I love Rob, but he's definitely a Karen. And so they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
He's the I'm in your country, but you're gonna
I want to shake your hand. I want to shake your hand.
Yeah. So yes, Rob will be gone. I believe this episode and next episode, they're gone for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Maybe. I don't know when he gets back, but yeah, probably not for this episode and next episode. Certainly not this one. They're out living their best lives. For those unaware, a week ago, or 8 days ago is the time we're recording this, Rob married Sydney at their wedding. I headed up there. It was out by Blackhawk in Colorado. For those familiar, actually, I lived here far too long. And it's the first time I've ever been up there. And yeah, it was a nice, beautiful wedding. Venue was nice. The whatchamacallit, weather wasn't that bad. It rained a little bit, but apparently Sydney liked that anyway. So not too bad. It was a little chilly. I had to go there. Well, let's talk about this. Okay, so you've heard of like rehearsal dinner, right?
Oh yeah.
Like before the day of the wedding, you go for rehearsal, and then typically, the parties or family and groomsmen, brides, all those like usually have dinner. Well, Rob had rehearsal morning because apparently the venue also had like another thing going on or something, so we couldn't go at night. So AKA, it was like 9 a.m. on Friday, like a little over hour and a half of a drive for me. So with traffic, I had to get up leave here at 7, head down there, get there. Never mind the fact that about 15 minutes outside from the venue, I just lose signal. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Oh.
So thankfully, I ended up finding somebody in front of me, and I was like, I hope they're going to the venue too, and they did.
Oh, Papa bless.
Yeah, otherwise, I might still be out there somewhere. There might have been like copters at this point, do my best Bear Grylls impression. But made it there, and wow, yeah, just didn't even realize either. Elevation, it was like high 30s. It was freezing. And I had a t-shirt and shorts. And I was like, I was not prepared for winter to already be hidden, but I also failed to realize we'd be sort of in the mountains. So that wasn't the most fun. And then it would be interesting to hear what Rob thought. But I've been to a few rehearsals now. And that was the least rehearsal I have ever been to. To the point where, like, the day of the wedding, I'm like, what are we doing? I didn't even know where I was sitting. When you like walk down the aisle for the ceremony, for instance, like, I didn't know it was just wedding day. I'm going down. I have to lead because I was best man. So I'm in the front. Game time decision. They're kind of far away from apparently where I'm supposed to sit, which again, didn't even know. So I just raw dogged it, saw Claire. But I was like, do I go up and like hug him or like shake his hand or something? Like typically you do that, but then he was so far out there and there was no rehearsal. I didn't know. So I made a game time decision and I didn't.
I think that's fair.
But like that's just what I'm saying. It's like the rehearsal part was, what did we rehearse? Oh, literally like the only thing was there was like a bridge back behind the thing. And it's just like, you're going to line up in this order. And just leave like some space and then walk. That was it. That was the rehearsal. So yeah, it left a lot of questions, but thankfully the day and the ceremony, it managed to go off without a hitch, or at least according to, if something needed to happen, it was just very lax. It was like a complete 180 for my brother's wedding, which was like to the nth anal degree.
You're meeting the queen. You will follow these rules.
It was like bam, 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 bam. And the lady was just freaking, oh, she's like, do it again. No, we do this. But to be fair, come the ceremony, none of us had any questions. So then people are asking me some things and I'm like, bro, I don't know.
You've been married, bro.
I'm gonna freaking make it up, dude. I don't know, dude. But so I had to go up there, and then at that point, having to drive back and then drive back again that night didn't make sense. So I just stayed up for the rest of the day. We didn't have like rehearsal dinner. Right? It was just the wedding planning was like 9 a.m. Friday rehearsal. Saturday at 1 p.m. So it's just like a big block of, I don't know. So I ended up hanging out. They didn't have my room ready. And it was like going to be another 3 hours. So I just hung out with Rob mainly. We chilled, grabbed some food, hung out with some of his family. And then more of the groomsmen showed up. And then we went gambling. And by we, I mean they. Claire had set aside some cash we had at the house so that if we did want to gamble, we wouldn't pull from the machines there and get the obscene fees or whatever. Well, also, I just forgot the cash. So it's probably for the best anyway.
I think that's a very responsible decision.
Without, it was not a decision, but I'd like to think it was. You know?
I think that was a very responsible decision subconsciously.
Yeah, there we go. Because guess what? Everybody lost their money. Nobody got up. And I just stood all day since I wasn't gambling. They don't let you sit. So
really, they
don't. On my feet watching everybody.
No, okay.
Well, because they don't have like really any seating outside of the slots and like tables and stuff, and you're not allowed to sit there unless you're playing. So I just hovered. Thankfully, just got some orthopedic shoes. They helped a little bit, but I was still tired. And taught some of them how to play bubble craps. That was pretty fun. I got one of them to win $7. No big deal. That was the only person that was up. And I lost track of him for a second, came back. He lost it all in roulette. So, yeah, literally, I think the only person that made money was Rob's dad, who we didn't see. And apparently he just pulled a slot once, $300. So,
my goat.
Yeah, good for him. Because I got to tell you, Claire and I then played slots the next night after the wedding and stuff. She came. I think we put $50 in slots. Gone in an instant.
Yep.
I don't understand slots. I really don't. Like, you just kind of do it, lose money. Do it, lose money. Do it, lose money. Well, that was fun. Or like, it'll be like, bum, 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 bum. Big explosions, 32 cents. Like, it costs 3 times that just to pull. Like, what?
It's. I thought gambling would be like a little more like. When I was in Vegas, I thought gambling would be a little more like carrot on a stick, and it would like really be like, oh, you got to put in some, you're winning, oh, you're losing, oh, you're like a back and forth to really like get you to just keep spending. And then like when I was there, I was like, oh, you spend $10, you spend $10, you spend $10, you spend $10, and you're out of money.
Like, oh,
I was like, oh,
well, I'm here for 3 more days, so
okay. Wow. It goes so quick. And I definitely understand how people blow their money on gambling addictions, because you can blow your money in. You can. The only people who are actually having that experience I was talking about, or it's like, oh wow, like it's back and forth, like I'm actually up, is people who go in with like a couple $100 to blow. And it's like, all due respect, I do not have a couple $100 to blow on gambling.
And even then, they would probably have to be playing lower cost tables.
Yeah, even then with a couple hundred.
Because even then, yeah, if you have a couple $100, you could very easily just play at higher cost tables and then
blow it instantly.
Gone. So yeah, that was Friday. Chilled, hung out, and then Saturday, the day of the wedding. I don't know what was going on Saturday, but I was a mess. I was more like distraught and spacey than I was like even on my wedding. And it didn't help that I had to keep going to like from the casino to the venue, which was like a 25-minute drive. But we had to move some stuff from like a storage place, so we went there early, then to the venue, then back, and did some things. And then I had to make it there in time. But then on the way there, when the groomsmen had to meet, realized, wait a second, forgot the camera. Because I mentioned to Rob I was going to film it for him. So then had to go back to get the camera. Then I get there, and I'm a little late, but we still have some time. Like the groomsmen, it was like, we get there at 1, ceremony starts at 4:30. It's a lot of time for pictures. So the groomsmen weren't in any particular rush, thankfully. So I get there and I'm like, word, all right, let's get. Then I open I'm trying to figure out like which suit is mine, because we all got it from like the same place and they're all hanging. So I'm like, I thought like this was like my hanger. I'm like trying to figure it out, but I'm like, there's like some weird article of clothes. Like, I don't know what that is. I think somebody brought like a sweat or like a workout t-shirt or something. I don't know. Like, maybe they're worried they're going to sweat through. I don't know. I'm like, I guess I just, but then everybody's taking theirs and then there's only like one left. So I'm like, this has to be mine, but what is this? I take it out of the thing because it's all in one big container, whatever the fudge, like zip up thing. And as soon as I pick it up, I notice like a little gold buckle. And then my stomach does the boom. And I realize that's Claire's dress. Oh.
They want you to
Totally
wear
forgot. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, no, totally forgot that she told me before I had it up like Thursday or Wednesday or something that she was putting it in mine, and just remember to leave it in the hotel room before I leave, because I didn't end up seeing her until the ceremony. She stayed back Friday because some of the people who had flown in, she was hanging out with them, and then they came up Saturday. But when about time they arrived, which is when I was headed to the venue, so yeah, I realized, okay, well, she doesn't have much time to do this, and she doesn't have anything else to wear, so I'm like, I gotta head back to the casino, and that's another like hour round trip.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I don't have service at the venue or anything, so I can't tell Claire yet that like, oh, I have your dress, I'm coming back. So then I head back there, and then turn back around, and by the time I get there, everybody's dressed, everybody's ready to go. So I got a freaking zoom. I'm holding everybody up. Jesus. And then, I get there too, and then like I forgot my socks, and I'm like, whatever, we raw dog it again, and
we ride
this thing. Yeah, I was all over the place. It was and then I get there, and then I'm like, wait, I don't even have my phone. And I go to the car, it's not my car. So then I walk all the way back, and then it was just hidden somewhere, like everyone's looking for it. I was like, the phone's missing. It was just in the shower. Why was it in the shower? I have no idea. So anyway, long story short, if you can tell, yeah, I was a mess. All the while too, I was trying to memorize my speech. So I was using the drives to try and memorize the speech, which gave me plenty of time because, geez, I was freaking back and forth. And I was trying to memorize it specifically because Rob has this thing about reading notes or like a speech. He's like, I know people probably wouldn't, and he'll probably tell you, this isn't like, oh, no, this is literally what he says. We all know Rob. He has these hills he likes to die on. He's like, I know people like probably wouldn't care, but like, I just think like it's like kind of weird or whatever to like read off the thing. So
it's just like,
I don't want people to judge me. So
it's just like corny, man. It's just like a little corny, man. So like, yeah.
So I don't know. So long story short, he's just like, so I just don't want to do it. So when I hear that, I'm like, great. Like now there's going to be a little part of him that if I read off of something,
he's going to bring it up later.
He's probably not going to say something, but there'll be a little part of Rob.
But later down the line, he's going to be like, so remember when you use the notes to.
So I was trying to memorize it, and I learned the day of that I was going to be the last to go. I was like, sheesh. All right, well, I got to close. And then I changed my speech around a little bit too, because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm last, and then there's like 5 other speeches before that, I'm like, okay, people are just going to be speeched out. So I got to make mine good, but sweet and concise. Don't ramble. Wrap it all up. Get to the fun stuff. So I was doing my best. And Rob actually talked to me the day before, because he was asking if like I'd figured out all my speech yet, and I had most of it done. And I asked him about his vows, because I think I talked with him about this earlier. He's like, no, I just sort of got like, I'm going to do like your speech. I got like some bullet points. And I just like, I'll find my way. I know where I want to go, and I'll just sort of make my way as I go. And I was like, love you. But vows, I'm like, my speech, that's fine. But I was like, maybe with the vows, we write them down.
Yeah.
Or I was like, at the very least, write them down so you can give them to her, or like have it to look back to. Because that's what like Claire and I did. We each had a little book. We wrote our vows and then traded it with each other.
I feel like it's very personal. It feels like a diary, you know?
Yeah. And we always have those to look back to. And again, vows, it's something you want to make sure you say what you say, right?
Yeah.
Well, Rob didn't do that now.
Fuck.
But so come the ceremony, Rob raw dogs the vows, more or less. And at some point towards the end, he goes, "This is why I should have written down my vows." So I told him.
I mean, hey,
you can ask Dado. Dado was like, I was starting to get a little worried for our boy, but he managed to bring it back at the end. So as a whole, but like that was the thing too, is like I don't know why he was so set on that when Sydney had hers written down and she read from it.
Because I guarantee you, Sid was like, I want it to be perfect, so I'm gonna write down my vows. And Rob was like, yeah, well, like I don't have a problem with like other people writing their vows, but like feel like for me, like I would look really corny, so like I'm just not gonna write down my vows, and like I'm just gonna do it because like Rob's a funny guy. He's got a personality. That's why we keep him around. All right, so
well,
that's so Rob coded to just be like, yeah. I'll do the. I don't need no fucking notes, man. I'll do my vows raw, bro.
And he still did a good job, and I think like he was sort of rambling or losing it a little bit along the way, but as a whole, they were still good, and it didn't ruin anything. And unless he'd said that, I'm sure some people who were there at the ceremony who didn't know he was just rambling off his head probably didn't even really notice. But I don't know if this is his. We can always ask him if this is his opinion. But I know some people are like, well, I want it to come from the heart. Like, I don't want it to be rehearsed or whatever.
That's fair.
And then my argument is, what is less genuine about me taking more time to make sure I say what I want to say? Like, it's so important to me that I have set aside time to make sure I write and, put my thoughts to paper, the things that I want to say, and then make sure I say everything that I want to say. That should be more heartfelt. Just because it's not off the cuff, you still put time and effort into it. When people try to argue, I don't get it. Which is why, come game time, I use my notes. I'm like,
hell yeah. It's just different because I think a lot of people are like, what's better or worse? And it's like, what's better or worse for you?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a good public speaker, nor am I a good off the cuff speaker. I cannot. It's impossible for me to land the plane sometimes because I'm just like I have to do every single point possible before I land this plane. I have to go around the airport and do tricks 360s before I land this plane. So I'm a much better writer.
I forget I'm even in a plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh wait, we have a destination.
Oh, my bad, guys. I realized this is a Boeing, and I should probably land this before something goes wrong. And so the point is, see, I'm already doing it now. The point is, I'm a much better writer than I am speaker. Much better writer than I am speaker. So when I write things down, it's actually closer to my thoughts than me just going off the cuff. So everyone's different. For some people, yeah, just speaking off the rip is like very pure, raw, unfiltered version of their thoughts. With me, if I speak off the rip, it's just like a bunch of. It's like I'm speaking the alphabet backwards or some shit. It doesn't make any sense. Let me write it down. And then that's writing it down, purest thoughts I could possibly have, because it's me really saying, this is how I get my thoughts out. This is the most concise way I want my thoughts to sound. But everyone's different. And I think Rob probably knew he was never going to write down his vows as much as he was like, yeah, probably be smart, but like I'm just gonna let it rip. Because let's be so honest right now. Does Rob know how to write? I don't think he does. Does Rob know how to read? I don't think he does. He does know how to talk from the heart. So I respect that man.
He did. I guess he showed it last week. I didn't obviously watch because it was supposed to be spoilers. He showed everyone. I'm assuming he showed the groomsman gift. He was getting all of us. But each groomsman gift came with a letter. I will say it was very heartfelt. Some grammatical and spelling errors. But all the same, it was
So
really
personal.
touching. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, he wrote well, which is also why I was like, you could have just, it, like, for me with the wedding, it was just like, this is too important for me to even leave chance.
Yeah.
And like with you with public speaking, I'm, believe it or not, I don't like public speaking. It's a lot different talking to a camera for me.
Very different.
But even when I'm like recording videos or vlogs or whatever, I'm very wordy, or like I try and then but then like midway I remember, oh right, I didn't mention this. I should talk. Oh, blah blah. So then I'll just start sort of, and then what always happens too is afterwards I'm like, oh, I forgot to mention.
Yep.
Oh, I should have said. Oh, but I didn't. So that's why I was like, all right, screw it. I'm gonna write it down. Make sure I hit all the points I want. And then yeah, I kept rehearsing. I even ran it by some people too, like trying to remember it word for word. And I was like this close. But also I was like, all I want to do is freeze or be like, and then sit there for a second. I have to either try and find or forget to say. So I was like, screw it, yeah. So I sort of use my notes. But I get how like Rob was so nervous for his speech. For me, yeah, the day was just a nervous wreck until I was done with my speech.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I can chill now. So that's how it went for me. It was certainly a whirlwind. But it was a beautiful ceremony, a wonderful venue.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Rob looked great. Sydney was beautiful. It was great seeing all the people who'd come out for the wedding. The pizza was really good.
It looked great.
Very yummy. And dancing was fun. Fun night. The barista, there was like a little barista, a little stand or something, was doing like tea and coffee or whatever into the night. I think his name was Gabriel. He was a fan.
Really? That's awesome.
It took him a little while, because I think he was hearing something during like the speeches or something. And so I went up to get a chai, and he was like the groom does he make like YouTube videos or something? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, I sort of like mentioned it or something. And he's like, do you do videos too? I was like, yeah, I do them with him. And that's when he was going, I said, oh, cool. Like what does like he play? I'm like, well, he kind of plays it, but like a lot of people know him or us for like Destiny. And then that's when the guy goes, wait a second. Are you Mr. Fruit? And that's when I was like, yep. And he hit me with the, I used to watching Destiny 1. But I didn't take, hey, even just a weird, I was like, hey. Yeah, I was like, that's awesome.
Appreciate it still.
Well, also, I'm going to be honest, Gabriel freaking very age ambiguous. Because he said he was watching us play Destiny 1 when he was, I want to say in like middle school. He easily thought Gabriel had like 5 to 10 years on me. So I was like, oh, I still don't know how old. I think he just got out of college or something. But it was funny happenstance. And then he knew Rob too. And he's like, oh, Rob EV. He mentioned, and it worked out. He's like, he's the funniest guy. I liked him the most. So I found Rob and told him if he wants to go say hi to that guy. That was just a funny little happenstance.
That's awesome. What the heck?
I got a kick out of that.
I'm glad Gabriel is a former watcher, because Gabriel, I am so sorry for Mr. Fruit dragging your ass for saying, I thought Gabriel easily had like 5-10 years.
Not like a bat, but like, bro, just
old.
If you saw a picture, I don't know, I think you'd be like, not old. Well, I guess actually, no, not 5 to 10, because now I'm 30. So I guess like 5. I thought he's like early mid 30s. And then just what threw me for a loop was like, oh, he's not even like a year or two younger. He's like 7 years younger or something.
I thought he had 5 to 7 on me. I have
Yeah.
5 to
Went the other
5
way.
to 7 on him.
And guess what? Every year I get older, that's going to happen more and more and more. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, otherwise, really fun day. I don't have a lot of, it'll be interesting to hear Rob's stories.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, I was just running around, a mess. And then dreading the speech. I don't know if people were being nice or not, but they said they enjoyed the speech. It was adorable. You know, Rob was crying, seeing Sydney walk up and everything.
Pain.
And during my speech, again, I was so nervous I had like a voice crack or something. And later, Claire was like, "Were you like getting choked up there?" I was like, "No, I was just freaking nervous." And when she's like, "Well, good, because if you cried during his speech and not during our wedding,"
oh fuck!
But I didn't know.
Holy crap! I love Claire. That's the most Claire thing I've ever heard. She was like,
I wouldn't blame her though.
If you cried during Rob's fucking wedding, you son of a bitch.
You know? My God.
You son of a bitch.
But she always talked about that, and I always gave her a heads up. I'm like, I won't know until, but if I had to guess, I'm not going to cry. And I did. I just don't show my emotions like that. And also, again, I think I've sort of mentioned too, but if I cry, I don't keep it together, man. There's no like, I can keep going or yeah, like, no, I am out. I've broken down.
I'm either freaking crying, bro, or I'm chilling. There's no in between.
Pretty much.
I'm probably pretty similar.
Like I can't talk. So that would make it difficult.
I'm crying. I'm crying.
Freaking bawling, dude. So for the rest of the stories and everything, you'll have to wait to hear from Rob. I'm sure he has crazier stuff. After the wedding, I took care of like some storage stuff or whatever. And then people met up at Blackhawk for some gambling afterwards. But in reality, we got there and then I spent like 2 hours getting food. A lot of us were hungry. We got a little restaurant inside the casino. Slow service, but also I feel for the waiter. It was me and Claire and I. We sat down. It was just the two of us. I'll just get some food in us real quick. And then suddenly, I think it was Shark and Bless. We're like, oh, hey, wait, we're looking for food. So suddenly there's 4 of us at the table. Fast forward like 10 minutes. I think we had 10 at that table. Our server, like just 4 different seats, like around the thing too. Like the booth didn't even fit all that. Poor server's like, what in the world? So it took a while. We got to hang out with all them. Bless was yapping about some Star Wars memes, man.
Did Bless have a couple drinks in him?
He did, but at that point, I think he was sober enough that he was Bless.
Okay, no, yeah. Bless is a yapper. I love him for it.
He found, because we found it later, some like Star Wars TikTok. Holy cow! By the end, I think we were all ready to kill him. He just kept saying like the most obscure Star Wars character names, and then being like, "No, that's real," and then showing us like wiki pages. I'm like, dude, you don't know who Bobby Yada Wang Ding is? Dude, he's in episode 4 in the back of the cantina for 3 seconds.
Glorp Shido is a cult classic, man.
Glorp sounds like one of the names. Bingzoid. I think that was one of them too. Something Bingzoid. Is like one of the tiny little aliens near like Jabba or something. And he's like, dude, it's like, why are all these named? They have all these wiki pages. I'm like, it is kind of crazy. And then, yeah, my God, he just kept going. You know, it was a long dinner. And then by the time we were done, it was like 1 a.m. or something. So we went around to do like a little bit of gambling, but that was also like Claire and I, like, oh yeah, let's go gamble. We lost $50 in like 20 minutes or whatever. And like, well, that was fun. We're good. Then we just watched everybody else. And like even Claire said, like the idea always sounds better. It was like the same way in Vegas, but then you do it, and then it's like, oh, that wasn't as fun as I thought it would be. And everybody else was on the bubble craps. I think because she wanted to do some slots, and that's how we lost like our money, just like bam. Bubble craps, though, if you play it, I mean, you can make money last away if you just play small hands. That's not what we did. We watched everybody else, and we called it early, quote unquote early. It was like 2:30. And then yeah, at this point we weren't with Rob. He'll have to tell you what he was up to, because he was up to some debauchery, you know him. And Lord knows what. So, well, yeah, I'm interested to hear what, because then he also stayed the next day, because the next morning Claire and I had to leave early because no one was there for the puppies. So we had to get back. Because I know they stayed like an extra day. And yeah, I think it went really well. All in all, I had a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I was lucky to be there. Glad I could be there. He's like posted some of the photos. They look good. Yeah, it was a beautiful day celebrating some beautiful people. People in love. And then, yeah, now they're in Germany. So, TLDR, that was Rob's wedding from Mr. Fruit's POV.
Warmed my heart. Warmed my heart. I do have to say, the photos looked really beautiful. Sydney obviously looked fantastic. And I know Rob was shit talking himself all throughout it. But I was like, dude, Rob, I was telling this leading up to the wedding too. I was like, Rob, like, please believe me when I say the starve maxing is working. Like, bro looks cut. And he, the whole time, he was like, God, I'm so fucking fat. I'm so fucking ugly. Sid's going to look amazing and I'm going to look like shit. And I was like, bro, as much as your diet worries me when you starve max, you do look great, big guy. Like, so be so for real right now.
His dieting is starving. It's not a diet.
He doesn't diet. He starves himself. It's awesome in the worst way, in that, like, please do not use Rob's methods. Rob can put his body through things that normal people cannot, or maybe me and Fruit are just fragile. I don't know. No,
if we've learned anything, it's just never take health advice from Rob.
The last person you should take health advice from.
Because he just has the weird hills he wants to die on. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's not a workout unless I throw up or something. That's not how that, like, what? And yeah, like the way he eats and stuff. It seems to work for him, sort of. And then, like, something always comes out of it. And he's like, oh no. Anyway, I'll keep doing it. And I actually mentioned that in my speech about how it was impressive that Sydney is like the only person I've seen be actually able to actually change his mind on some of these weirdly opinionated hills that he loves to die on. Most recently, like the Arcane Imagine Dragons thing. He still sat there and was like, "Ew," during the intro, but at least he sat through it and then actually watched the,
it's like 5G.
The show.
It's like 5G rays. It's like you're gonna get code if you listen to this Imagine Dragon song.
And that's probably lines up. Maybe that's where I got.
I love Rob, dude. Rob is the perfect mix of not normie, but also like the normie that falls for hoaxes, and it's just perfect mix. Perfect mix.
And when he thinks something, he just, God bless him.
Shout out to our boy Rob.
He's set on his ways.
I'm sure he's gonna have a lot of great stories about not just the wedding, but about his honeymoon
trip.
I saw a lot of Xantare speak. Was at the wedding, and they were really hyped about it. So that'll be fun to hear.
I actually didn't really get to meet. I think I only met one of them.
Those guys carried us in Rust, and you didn't thank them in person?
I didn't know who they were. So I thought they would, because like one of them came up and said hi. Because I didn't know who was who or what was what. And also for up until past pretty much dinner, I had been busy. Like I didn't really get to
that's very fair.
Anything. I was the witness to Rob and Sydney.
Especially for especially for a best man, it's you don't exactly have as much time as the rest of the wedding to be a social, so I get it.
But then after the thing was being chilling, it was funny. There was like a certain table of high school friends, Rob's high school friends, that were just essentially like popular people, who were, how do I put this in a good way? Douches, you know? And at the wedding,
Was that in a good way?
that's probably the best way I could put it. Yeah. And tried to act like anything was different or anything. And I just smile and wave. I'm like, yeah, I ain't doing this.
Guys who peaked in high school?
Yeah, pretty much. Just didn't care for him. There was others though, like in the groomsmen and at my table and stuff, who I wasn't like super familiar with. But like we were on good terms. They were always nice, and they still were. But if you're actually, Rob posted that. I don't know if I ever did. We talk about it on the podcast. I don't know. Rob posted like the yearbook quote I put in there. I swear we talked about this, but just in case I didn't, I need to read it anyway because it is relevant. Claire always thinks it's so funny, and almost as if I'm like dissing him, but I'm not. Holy cow, he posts lots of pictures. Oh, here it is. Blah 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 blah. Oh, okay, so then I say, you're a great guy, even if everyone doesn't see it. They don't know you like I do. And thought that was like but you can ask Rob. He had a, what's the freaking word? People knew him. He had a freaking, what do people know him as? What was the word I'm looking for here? He had a,
he was notorious.
Yeah, sure. Or something like that.
Infamous. He was infamous.
Reputation. Yeah.
Reputation. There you go.
He had a reputation for being one of the more popular people. And always sort of sometimes, leaning on the douchey side.
He played the social ladder and he wanted to because he liked it.
I mean, you can ask Rob too. He treated me different sometimes in high school too. I never took it personally. But that was just the case of the matter. And like all my friends in high school who didn't know Rob personally, like I could ask them and they're like, we hate that guy. He was a polarizing figure. And so those were the friends from back then. I just never got along with, or all of them were the year above us and just like your typical jocks or whatever. But yeah, seeing all them trying to interact. And it's just like, some things never change. And I don't miss any of that hierarchy or anything. The social stigma. They tried to get me in on goes to shotgunning a beer with Rob and all them. And I'm like, dude, that's so sweet. I'll come watch, but no, I'm good. Still, it also reminded me of high school too. Peer pressure has zero impact on me. I'm like, CBA, mate. But Rob knocked it back. I'll tell you that. But yeah, it was just funny seeing that, and then like just remembering what that looked like back then. But here Rob and I are now. So, and where are those people? I actually don't know. I just don't really know what they're doing with their life. But I do know my bully is succeeding. Never stop talking about you, Bobby.
Fuck you, Bobby.
Forgive, but never forget.
Fuck you, Bobby. Was Bobby at the wedding?
Yeah. No. Oh, we would. Oh,
Hands?
no, I'm just kidding.
Fisticuffs?
No, probably not.
Yeah,
I would have.
You, Bobby.
I would have been nice with him.
You'd been nice, but deep down you'd been like, I hope you have it bad. I hope you stub your toe.
I hope you. Yeah. I hope your pillow stays warm at night. So suck it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I joke about it, but
Fuck Bobby.
But Bobby might be a great guy nowadays too. How in the world should I know?
That's not my problem.
Don't keep up with them at all. Yeah. I'm living my own life. You know?
I hope Bobby has atoned for the things he's done. But at the end of the day, I hope he's
playing Major League Baseball. So
never mind. Fuck you, Bobby.
He seems to be doing all right.
Bobby, I hope you eat shit, Bobby.
Yeah.
Speaking of eating shit.
And then everyone's talking about high school too, the Derek White. Where it's just like, man, we're all so irrelevant.
Dude, Derek White. If you want to,
who just signed a couple $100 million contract or something? Goodness gracious!
It's kind of crazy. You have a surprisingly successful class of people. You have become you.
Yeah, but
Mr.
see, like
Fruit.
putting me and Derek White in even in the next sentence is
no,
wild.
obviously not.
Nowadays.
No, obviously not. But you have made a name for yourself and changed a lot of people's lives. At one point, you were one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform. And how many people can say they've ever done that? Handful.
True.
You okay, I'm not gonna glaze it too hard, but then you have like the Derek Whites. You have the fucking Bobby, who is a major league player. You've had a pretty successful class, shit.
Well, no, I kind of need to ask Rob if I feel like Robbie might have graduated a different high school because he bullied me. We were in the same middle school. I don't remember if he went to our high school or not.
Whatever, fuck you anyways, Bobby.
Or might he transferred? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Who are you, Bobbert?
Just like the same thing. I think we had Christian McCaffrey for a couple months or whatever until his parents took him. I think they went to Regis or whatever. And like, why are you going to play for that garbage high school? You got way bigger prospects. So instead of playing for us, he just beat us down every single time our team played him. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, that was the wedding.
Summer is dead. Sorry if that sounded harsh, but it's true. Fall is upon us, and as the weather gets chillier and crispier, your wardrobe needs to catch up. Luckily, the sponsor of this ad read is here to save the day. Chubbies. Yes, Chubbies, home of the ultra cozy comfort clothes that'll keep you feeling warm and looking better as the weather gets progressively worse and worse. Listen, looking good in your clothes is important to me, just as important as the comfort of clothing. And I know it is to you too. With Chubbies, I don't have to sacrifice comfort for style. I've been wearing their original stretch short and love how comfortable the elastic waistband is. And they come in 3 different lengths. I'm not a petite boy by any means, so having that waistband is a game changer. When others see you sporting Chubbies in the wild, they're bound to say, oh wow, that person's wearing Chubbies. I now immediately respect them and think they're cool. Why can't I be them? Why can't I sport a Chubby in public? This fall, elevate your style, your confidence, and your entire fundamental being with Chubbies. And would you look at that, folks? For a limited time, our friends at Chubbies are giving our listeners 20% off with the promo code GG20 at checkout at chubbyshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with the promo code GG20. Support our show and tell them we sent you. This fall, make the most of every moment with Chubbies. Shop now and fall into comfort, one stylish piece at a time. Well, wedding sounds amazing. I'm glad you guys had a great time. Before we
How's the move been?
Okay, I was actually going to go into Deadlock, but I went into a Deadlock with my moving. Mr. Fruit,
we can touch on Deadlock today.
I never want to move ever again. I literally, every single time I move, it's funny because I was pretty light on, I don't own a lot of things. So I only had like a van full of things. So I didn't need to get a U-Haul or anything, which was pretty convenient. Obviously, I had a couple those big Home Depot boxes, the black and yellow ones that are so nice. Got my PC moved, my 2 monitors. The only big piece of furniture I really had was my dresser. Oh God, Papa, bless you. And so I pack pretty light. I'm for moving my, all the most important things to me. I could fit it all in a van. Um, Still despise moving. I hate resetting up everything. I couldn't bring my desk because it was too big, so I got a new desk, which is great because I love this desk. But Christ, do I hate setting my PC up again? I hate remounting my monitors. Even with my partner's help, still sucked. I hate taking out all my clothes and rehanging them. I hate reorganizing my drawer. I hate putting everything back on the wall. I hate re-putting up all the pictures, of my Pokemon trainers. I hate re-putting up. I hate re-putting up all of the sound foam to work in a new empty room. Um, I hate reorganizing my bathroom. I hate having to go buy a bunch of cleaning supplies to make sure I could clean my bathroom. I hate having to sweep and mop and uh and get the place all undusty because I just moved there. I hate having to go buy a bunch of groceries because it's totally empty. I hate I having to recall all my new medical places and a new doctor and
you gotta change all
my shit and stuff, which I still haven't done. I still haven't done all that yet, but I know I'm gonna have to do it. It sucks. I hate
just listen.
I hate moving furniture. I hate organizing furniture. I hate looking at the furniture we moved and saying this looks bad. I hate having to move. We have a spiral staircase too because this is a pretty small apartment, very vertical. It's a townhome, so it's spiral staircase naturally. I hate moving things up a spiral staircase. Fuck a spiral staircase. If you have a moving company and you ever move a spiral staircase, or you ever have a spiral staircase, you pay those motherfuckers extra. All I know is next time I am literally going to save up money to get a moving company because I hate moving. I hate moving. I'm paying a moving company to move all of my shit next time. I'm going to pack it all in nice, tiny little boxes. I'm going to say, guys, here's all of my money. Move all my furniture and move all my boxes. Please do it for me. I can't do this anymore. Anyways, I also hate waking up at 5 a.m. to make a drive down to Oklahoma because if we don't, then we're going to be driving in the heat, and I would rather not be there at 7 p.m. moving all my things because then I would have to drive through Austin, Dallas, Texas traffic, even though it still turned out pretty good. That being said, I moved in.
The hardest part's behind you.
With my puppy. Boomy's having a great time. Only thing is I wish I had a backyard. I didn't underestimate not having a backyard, but I do miss having a backyard where I could just say, all right, Boomy, go.
Yeah.
Because, every time he has to go out, I got to take him out and walk him out, which is totally fine. I love taking Boomy out. But, sometimes when I'm just like, I don't want to... I don't want to leash him and take him out so he could poop and pee. I wish I could just have a backyard where I could say, Boomy, go, be free, do your thing. You don't need me to supervise you pooping and peeing. Luckily, he is puppy pad trained, so if he ever has an emergency, he knows where to go. Still working on the carpet situation. We have carpeted stairs. He quickly was like, oh, fuck yeah. I'm going to fuck this up.
No. He's like, y'all done messed up.
I'm going to fuck this up. I'm happy. It's awesome. I moved. My partner finally met my parents. That was nerve-wracking as I thought it would be. My parents are really chill.
That's good.
And he was pretty comfortable with them. I don't know, it's just nice being in your own place with the person you love and your small little Chihuahua puppy that you also love, and you're just having a great time. And yeah, it's pretty cozy. I think especially I love just having like my own space that is wholly not just mine, but like both of ours. I don't know how to describe it. Socialism. Socialism is really cool. And partnership is really just socialism. You know what I mean? Because like you're both sharing things and it feels good. Just
So true.
knowing that it's a very different feeling moving when you're completely alone, and then moving when you have like someone who you're gonna like. You're not alone. I don't know how to describe it. It's just different. It's just different moving. Because when I moved to college, I was a mess. I was crying. I was like, what do I do if anything goes wrong? I'm like, everything's bad. Oh, this is awful. But then when I moved here, it was like, still cried because I was like, changes are scary. But then it's like, it's really easy to just move in and be like, dude, I have someone I'm working with. If things go wrong, like we will work it out. Also, bonus that I love this person and they're pretty awesome, and I'm really happy being near them. And my life is a lot better when I get to be around them. So
Love that
life
for you.
is pretty pog, and moving is pretty pog. Unfortunately, the financials of it are not pog. The main reason I didn't go to Rob's wedding is because I was unable to move until literally a week before Rob's wedding. I don't know if you guys know this, but moving a week before you have to do anything is not going to happen. Moving is brutal, and I hate it. So if you ever move, make sure you try not to be a hoarder, because I could not imagine moving more than I moved. And also, just hire a moving company. Just pay those dudes good. Save up money, because you will appreciate not having to move all your things on your own. I hate moving. I don't think I ever have nightmares about moving, but I definitely like internally. I'll probably forget about it eventually. But like I'm still like, dude, if I ever had to move all this stuff, I have to think about how I'm gonna move it, when I'm gonna move it. I have moving anxiety purely because of being near, time wise, being close to the moving process. Which is, it wasn't even that bad of a move. It was still like, it was pretty, like I got settled in pretty quickly, but still I hate moving. Is the Tulder.
Yeah, I used to, was like 2013 to 2018. At least once every year I moved. It was just, oh, you get so sick of it. It's like, oh, here we are again. Miserable. So I understand it. I don't envy it. Glad we're chilling here for now. And yeah, even just that moving. Oh, sheesh, wait, that means we gotta straight up move. So like, what if we like didn't? You know?
I want to know the feeling of just having a place I know I'm going to stay in, of like ownership. Like having like, I'm not going to have to move. This is nice. Everything here is staying here. Hell yeah. One day in like 2020, in like 2084. But nonetheless.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. Real quick, before we cut off this brief podcast, we haven't really even gotten time to talk about Deadlock at all, despite it having taken over a lot of our lives. So we can keep it real quick. Mr. Fruit, Deadlock. How has this game changed your life over the past month?
I'm Deadlock pilled, brother. I'm bullish on the Deadlock market, you know. I had actually played and got access to it. There were like rumors about it months ago. I got into the playtest like when it first happened, and I was like, whatever. For me, it was like, does it have an NDA? Yeah. All right, well, I'll just get to it later. While I was recovering from surgery one day, I decided to like boot it up. Literally rage quit like 10 to 15 minutes into a match. I had no idea what was going on at the time, but now I know there's just some Yamato that was just absolutely running through the game, smurfing. I'm still sitting here like, what is even happening? And then on top of the fact that I was recovering from surgery and stuff, I'm like, I can't handle this right now. So yeah, I just rage quit. So I totally understand, especially MOBAs and stuff like that, where like the first impression is really important. Because even me knowing MOBAs and stuff, at that point I just sort of wrote it off. I was like, yeah, whatever, screw that. It's like, I don't get it. And it wasn't until a couple weeks ago, it was about 3 weeks now or something, when the NDA randomly lifted, and there'd been a lot of hype around it, like more murmuring and leaks or whatever. So I was like, all right, well, NDA is lifted, so let me give it a shot. And here I am.
Deadlock pilled.
It gives me closest Battleborn vibes I've gotten since Battleborn RIP. But it has, even in its alpha state, one, it's just fun. I can have fun if I'm winning, obviously, but I can also have fun if I'm losing. And there's so much to learn. That's what I like. It's a league with the MOBA aspect of like the depth of like on the surface, you could quickly run through everything. But then the more you learn, the more you play, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. On top of all the heroes they already have in the game, so many of them have so many layers to them as well. It's not just as simple as like, oh, you're using them. Oh, well, that's it. And because of the item system they have in this game, there's not so much like defined roles, and there's so many different ways to build and play people. It's just good fun.
It's a great MOBA.
And the crazy thing too is it's closed alpha still. And yeah, if I had to guess, like we're at least a year and a half out from like a release. Still so much is changing. They're still like every 2 weeks, they're still doing big shifts and changes because again, the game's still early in development. Tons of heroes that are like placeholders in the game. You can even apparently like get access to.
And there's a lot of jank.
Yeah.
Like you'll see it on heroes. Some heroes, like their arms will be clipping when they're on the drive-in. Some abilities are clearly not finished. Some of the effects on characters are clearly not finished. But damn, is the game some good fun.
I mean, one of the lead devs or whatever, like literally answered a question too about saying that almost every hero currently, just even in the alpha, at some point will be redesigned, like visually. And I think like Yamato, for instance, is getting a complete overhaul, I think stylistically. They mentioned a couple, like I guess Viscus is up there, but there's like a couple. So like characters as a whole just aren't even finalized anyway. I think like Shiv and Grey Talon and stuff. So there's still so much to be added.
Yeah. But then you have some like Warden who are like, yeah, that's a pretty finished character. Vindicta's pretty up there. Pretty like I would say mostly finished, but like, you know, there's probably some Infernus. Yes, Infernus is such a sick looking character. I
really like the design, yeah.
Yeah, you have a lot of characters that are pretty like, like Lash too. Characters that'll like, I think these are definitely like final drafts. Then there are others who are like, okay, we're still working on these, I see. So
yeah.
But man, is the game still so good? It's
let's just say it doesn't need any of that.
I don't know how to. I think
it'll be a bonus when it gets it, but
that's when this game has polish, because I mean it's also not the best looking game either. It's very like a lot of the game feels
like late 2000s.
Yeah.
Graphically
it's pretty dated, but obviously I know they're still working on a lot of things. Like graphics are one of the final.
Yeah.
Any game dev will tell you, like the nice coat of paint that they slap on it to make it look pretty. That's one of the last things that happens. So, yeah, it's a great game. I think we'll talk about it more in depth about Fruit's enjoyment of it. Fruit's massive addiction to making gas Deadlock videos. I kind of want to ask Dado maybe next week or something to hop on, because but he's gone for 2 weeks again, right?
Something.
Just a week.
I don't know. It might just be. I don't know.
I would love to get Dado on, because I love watching Dado play Deadlock. I know Dado loves Deadlock because he will not stop complaining about it. When he's
true.
If he loves a game, he will be on the game literally nonstop complaining about it. If he's playing a game and he's just kind of like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that was pretty good. He hates it. He hates that game. But if he's on there nonstop, queuing over and over, saying, so stupid, man, so bullshit, they got to fix that. He loves that game. Dado is Deadlock build.
The other night I got off at like 10 or something. And he was like, all right, well, I think I'm just going to play one more, guys. Then the next day, Chat was telling me he stayed up until like 2.
Yep.
So he queued another, because he's an hour behind me, like 3 or 4 hours or something.
Yep.
And I think you said you hopped in for one of those or something. Yeah, it was so funny too, because like when we ended, I was like, man, he is tilted. And I got off, rated him, jumped in. The game's like 3 minutes, and he's already on like a tirade, just like boom, boom, boom. I'm like, this dude is tilted.
So bullshit. It's so impossible to CS. Like, why is it designed this way?
I was like, no shot. He's like, yeah, he's gonna. Oh, he just went for another. It's like that. I mean, really, there's a special sort of tilt and anger, a MOBA.
That's that MOBA really, tilt, baby.
Can really get to you.
Yeah, I think this is. I guess the reason why this game really like fills a MOBA hole in me, is because of the way you can actually build the characters in a variety of ways. That's viable and goofy because the items are really powerful. Like, you could probably build some characters that should not be just built a certain way. You could probably build them in a way that would actually would work. Like, it's just really cool. Like, it's not like in more typical MOBAs like League or Dota or even predecessor, where like there's really only one way to build a character because like the items only do so much. But yeah, the items in Deadlock are so powerful and change the game so much. Like, so little of your character. I mean, obviously your character is a massive part of it, but like so little of your character is strong on base. It's more so your items really morph your character and their natural abilities to be amplified like exponentially. So it's really cool. It is so sick. I think it's really special. For me, I'm definitely more of a fan of like the more middle ground that like predecessor takes, where it's like, you know, it's a little slower, it's a little less skill shoddy, it's a little more about farm, it's a little more about like I don't know, like it's a little more slow and MOBA focused, and whereas Deadlock is very much like the most shooter MOBA we've ever got. Super shooter focused, super third person shooter focused, very
the crazy verticality.
Oh, I have to say that is something I love about this game that I never got in Paragon and I still don't get in Pred, is the value of verticality. Like, there is so much verticality to everything. The buildings, I have my qualms with the map, but like the ropes going up, the way you can have snipers like perch on certain places, the way you can you can vertically gank people by hiding up versus like in the in the bushes, which are just like the fog walls and the lanes. Like there's a lot of different ways to do things. I think the game is really special. If you're the type of person who doesn't like MOBAs, like Paragon or predecessor didn't grab you.
That's what Dado says. Dado's never really liked MOBAs, and he's like, but I don't know why, but I like this one.
This is the perfect MOBA for people who do not like MOBAs. It's just more shooter than it is MOBA on the surface, but deep down it is a very MOBA focused game, especially in the higher MMRs I watch. It plays just like any other MOBA. Obviously there's like a lot of differences because the game is so skill shot focused. Like you got to aim. Like this, and some characters have more aim than others. Some people got melees that, some characters,
Winston,
yeah, some characters are very melee focused, but yeah, it's a very special game. It's a very, very cool approach to MOBAs. I think it's a very unique approach to MOBAs that we haven't seen since Paragon. But this one works a lot better right off the rip, just because the game knows what it is. The game is not afraid to say, yeah, it's really goofy, but it is also, it really chases the visceral feeling of an action third person shooter with MOBA elements that makes it. And it doesn't chase like the hero shooter thing, because it more so chases the aspect of building, makes it to where like you can kind of build your own hero in a way. So it's a really cool game, really cool ideas. I think Valve has a huge winner on their hands. Whenever the game is like fully released, I think it's going to be massive. And I can't wait to see like the polish on this game, because it's already really, really fun.
Yeah. The only bummer is just having no idea when any of that is,
and so much is changing week to week. So
yeah. And that's the thing too, is people are like, oh, this is unbalanced, or oh, they're making drastic changes. Yeah. Yep. Again, it's alpha. That's the whole point. This isn't like beta or early release. It's alpha. Why, like, graphics aren't, things are placeholders. Things aren't, and that's why they're basically changing things. They're not afraid to add this or that, because the whole point right now is they're not trying to make a perfectly balanced game right now. That's what you do on full release. Right now, it's figure out everything they want to do, what it should look like, pacing of the games, and what heroes can and can't do, and what's too far for items, and what's not, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. Enjoy Deadlock. And yes. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Wow.
Of this GG Over Easy podcast.
Thanks for watching, guys. We have an angry puppy.
Catch you guys next week. Y'all have a good week. Be safe. Love you. See you then.
See ya.